Today is Wednesday, December the 11th, and the market is really being held hostage by the China tariffs, which I believe go into effect on the 15th, 4 days from now. So we could continue to drift until there is news that there will be some kind of a phase one deal, and that presumably would mean the lifting of tariffs, and maybe we'll pop up. But look at the volume. The volume was typical, but the day was just sort of a mixture of up and down, with it being up towards the end. But the advancers led decliners this time almost by 2-1, which is going to take our market breadth back up to above the zero line, a little bit higher, probably just in line with these other two, which indicates we're going nowhere. The S&P up 10 points. We're still stuck in this mirrored wedge. I've explained where those lines come from before. Support by the 8 EMA. Nothing particularly valuable to see there. Apple, what's nice about Apple is that it has come back up now and closed at its closing high. So that's very important, a break of that, and we should be adding some more long call verticals for Apple, which are doing okay. I mean, they're up $47. It's the Februaries that we have, but I think that the next ones that I do, sorry, I've just switched to the new Catalina. So the next one that I do, I think I'm going to be doing Januaries. But I've got the Februaries now, which are going to take a long time before they're going to make any money. Very conservative. The next one that we're looking at is Caterpillar. Let's just close this here. Caterpillar, up $1.13. Still playing in this, what we could call a bull flag. And we would be looking for a break. So let's see, create an alert when we cross the top channel line. Home Depot is the one that suffered today because they made an announcement before the market opened that they were not going to have a good quarter, that same-store sales were not meeting expectations because some plan that they put in place wasn't coming to fruition. So what's significant here is that we stayed above the 200 simple moving average, but the 200 EMA is what proved to be resistance. We can take this alert away because what's more important right now is what's more important now is the 200 EMA that's the resistance. But we still got the short-term SMI that's continuing to move up. The longer-term SMI has plateaued a little bit. So it's still in a bullish mode, but look at the volume here. The volume was pretty significant. But let's look at a 5-minute chart. And the stock dropped on the news, then continued just to slowly move upwards, but still below the Woody's pivot of the S4. So that's really, when you're at support 4, that's quite the measured pullback. So let's see what happens tomorrow. But the 3 vertical calls that I have, the January 220 and 225, only suffered today by $186, and that's not so bad. Not time to pull the plug on that one yet. Amazon, still resistance by the cloud, but look at the volume, just insignificant volume there. Let's go back and look at gold, because gold had a bit of a day today, and we can look at the gold miners. We're up in the cloud, and the Chiku span is inside this candle here. So there's a good chance that the Chiku span will come up and play with the 50 simple moving average. And this could be good news on gold because the Fed did not change rates today and signaled that they likely wouldn't change rates for all of 2020, which I think is pretty bold. And the market will just have to come to grips with the fact that the money easing is not going to be forthcoming. But our alternate play for GDX, which is KL, was up 2.84%, just a little bit better than the GDX, but above the 8 EMA, which has been struggling for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days below the 8 EMA. Now we've popped up above it. So that's one we're going to take a look at. And if we want to move into gold, we'd probably be moving into KL. And the 200 SMA and EMA intersected right here, but you can see the 200 has proven to be support 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So that's pretty remarkable level of support. Let's just take a look at the volume, and it was pretty anemic overall. So the VIX dropped a little bit, still remains in the middle of its normal range. Once it gets up to closer to here, then we can be looking at some kind of a fear setting in. But for the time being, that is not the case. So we're just going to have to wait until we get some news about the China trade deal to make any significant move in the market.